Hey, welcome back. I'm Ashley Jordan, and you are listening to another episode of Joyride. Yeah, it's good to be back. I never know how to start a podcast. I never know how to just naturally, casually get into my topic. So we're just gonna full send. We're just gonna go straight into it. So today we're gonna talk about confidence and being yourself, because I've been thinking a lot about, how can we be happy in our own skin? It's hard to find joy in life when you're not happy with yourself and when you don't like yourself. So here's my 2 cents on confidence and being yourself, which I think is kind of, by the way, I feel like those are kind of the same thing in my head. Confidence, being yourself. If you have one or the other, you automatically have the other one as well, if that makes sense. So here's the thing. There's only 2 people in the whole universe that have to love and accept you for who you really are. There's only 2 people that it really matters that they love and accept you. Okay. And the first person already loves you. That person is God. Okay. He loves you and cares for you and knows you perfectly, no matter what you've done, no matter who you are. Even if you're super self-conscious about everything and you're not your best self, he's still gonna love you. Okay? And the other person who has to love you, in my opinion, to be able to live a fulfilled life with meaning is yourself. Okay, so that's the hard one. Okay, so we're not gonna think about what other people think. What really matters is what you think of yourself, okay? So, just like everything else, this self-confidence and self-love, it takes practice. Okay, so I'm going to give a few things that I think have helped me, because, I don't know, I feel like I'm a pretty confident-ish person when it comes to most things. I'm cool. I'm good with myself. I have really learned how to be myself. I didn't used to be like that. And so I know the difference. I know that I'm so much happier now because I just love being myself, and I don't care what people think anymore. I'm just going to be myself. And if you don't like it, then we're not really meant to be together or anything. So I also want to talk about being yourself when it comes to dating too, okay? Because we're young adults here. Well, I am a young adult, and my friends, I know a lot of my friends are listening, and this is the time. We're trying to date, we're trying to meet other people, and I think especially right now, it's so important to be yourself and be confident, because you're looking for your eternal companion, and that's kind of a big deal. So we're going to go into dating, but first we're just going to talk about building up your self-confidence. Here are some things that have helped me. So number 1, this is going to bring it down to the deepest part of knowing yourself, knowing who you are. Learning who I really am on a spiritual level has helped me become more confident and become it's helped me find myself. It's helped me figure out who I really am, what I like, what I don't like, and the kind of person that I want to be. So knowing that I am a daughter of God, the daughter of the creator of the universe, we can't even understand what that really means, but he deeply loves every single one of his creations, and he created me for a specific purpose, and he put me on earth right here, right now, for a specific reason. And that right there, like, that gives me purpose, that gives me meaning. And so I should be thrilled to be myself. That's like my life pursuit right now, is I'm trying to figure out who I am so that I can live my life the way that God intended me to, the way He wants me to, because I'm here for a reason. And my personality it's who I am. It's for a reason. The people I meet and the things that I do every day, it's all part of His plan. And to me, like, that's exciting. Like, I want to be myself because that's how God made me. And the more that I'm myself, I feel like the closer I am to God, because I feel real, and I feel like that's what God wants me to be. He wants me to be exactly what He created me to be. And I, like, especially throughout high school, I started to learn more about this, and it finally started to sink in. And that's when I was like, this is exciting. Like, it's so exciting to go and, like, figure out who you are. And the best way to, like, find out who you are is, take you back to the very, very beginning, that I am a beloved daughter of God. And the closer that I become to God, the more I come to know myself as well. So that is first, and, like, that is the most important. That's the first step. Okay. Now, another thing that has helped me find confidence and has helped me be myself is have good friends. This is so important to me. Like, finding, like, true friends. Like, you want to have friends that build you up and lift you up. Okay. I mean, think about the people that you love and adore. You probably like them because they help you feel good about yourself, right? And you like them because they're confident in themselves, and they love being themselves, and they love helping other people also be themselves, and they just love to uplift others, and they bring out the best in other people. And, like, that's the kind of friend I want to be, because that's, like, part of me, like, trying to find out who I am, trying to be myself, is I want to be that good friend that brings out the best in other people. Because I've had that. I've had friends who have brought out the best in me, and they've helped me discover myself. Okay, tip number 3. I say, when you're trying to figure out who you are, try new things. Try new hobbies and activities, new sports, go roller skating. That's something I tried, and it was a blast. Go, just try something new. For me, I kind of stumbled in high school. I kind of stumbled into, like, theater and, like, musical theater. It kind of just happened. I didn't really ever, like, want to do it, but we had, like, a family friend, and she was like, do you want to play violin for this thing? And I was like, sure. And then before you know it, I was, like, auditioning for all the other musicals and all these plays. And, like, it was so much fun. And, like, as a young, like, shy person who, like, has never sung in front of people, and, like, that was just so, like, out of my comfort zone. It, like, kind of blows my mind that I, like, actually ended up, like, I did plays in high school, and, like, I had so much fun. And, like, the fact that I had to come out of my comfort zone a little bit really helped me find myself. I knew I liked music, and I knew that, like, I feel myself when I'm doing music. But then I put, like, a little twist on it, did some acting, some dancing, some storytelling in there, and I found a little piece of myself that I didn't even know I had. And that's fun. That's exciting. It's always fun to find, something about yourself that you didn't know before. And then, along with like hobbies and talents and stuff, stick to the ones that you already know you love as well, and work on them and practice and get good at them. Have something that you can feel good about. Like I used to be like pretty confident about my violin playing skills. I haven't practiced in a long time, so not quite the same, but like me and my family would go and perform and we'd play some like fiddle and bluegrass, and I was feeling pretty good about that. That was fun for me. And I practiced and we were like pretty good. So that was something that, that gave me confidence, and it was fun to be myself when I could, perform and be a part of something like that. Okay. Tip number, 4. I think we're on 4. Be genuine. To me, that's a big thing. It wasn't until like a few years ago that I realized like being genuine, that's what like people want. People want to be friends with someone. People want to know someone who is genuine, who is real, who's raw. Like, to me, being genuine is you're not afraid to be vulnerable for a moment. It's okay to say, yeah, like I have weaknesses sometimes and I learn from them and I'm better because of them. And it's also like noticing your strengths and knowing what you are good at and just amplifying that as much as you can, and just being all those good qualities as much as you can. Like for me, I think it's being kind, being loving. That's like something that I feel like I'm good at. I'm good at being kind. And so I try to be the best kind person I could possibly be. And for me, that's being myself. That's who I am, and that's genuine. Okay, another tip. I think this is tip number 5. Take compliments seriously. Okay, when someone compliments you, they're usually being genuine. Okay, and I don't mean just like, oh, I like your shirt. Like, that's a good compliment, but if someone compliments you about like your personality or something good you did, or just they notice a good quality that you have as a person, like write it down and remember that. I remember one time I was just having this horrible day, and I was just like, when you're like having a bad day and you're like, man, I just suck at everything and like nothing went well, and I'm like, I thought I was good at this, but I guess I'm not. And like, yeah, I was just super down on myself, and I was talking to my friends, and they're so awesome. One of them was like, we should go around the room and we're all gonna say a few things that we love about Ashley. Wow. Bless that friend. Everyone needs a friend like that. Wow, that's amazing. She's amazing. But anyway, so like we went around the room and everyone like gave me like all these compliments, and I was like, wait, I'm gonna write this down because I can already tell like this is already gonna make me so much happier. So I wrote it down. They said so many good things, like things that like I didn't even know about myself. Like I didn't even know I had that good quality about myself. And so yeah, I wrote it down, and I still have that list to this day. And when I am struggling, when I'm having a bad day and I'm feeling down on myself and I forget how to be myself and I forget how to be confident, I go back to that list, and I've actually added to it since, whenever someone else gives me a compliment. And like, it has helped so much. Like, it just makes my day all over again. Because usually people like that are not yourself, people around you tend to notice the good things about you a lot quicker than you'll notice it yourself. Okay, now we're gonna talk about everybody's favorite topic, dating. Just kidding. Well, no, I'm not kidding, actually. We are gonna talk about dating. I think it's fun to talk about. Kind of depends on where you are in the dating world, I guess, if it's going well or not. So, dating. I think it's so important to be yourself when you're dating. I know it's like hard sometimes, especially like in high school. I feel like we're all kind of trying to like be like act cooler than you really are, or like that sounds bad. But you're like trying to like be something that you're not so that you can get this guy to like you or whatever. Like that's such a high school thing to do. But we're not in high school anymore. Dating is like very serious now because we're young adults and we're we could like everyone's getting married and it's crazy. So I want to make sure that like I do this right, you know? I want to make sure that I'm going on dates and I'm doing it right. I just like think at this point I'm tired of pretending to like I don't know, impress other guys by doing things that I'm really like by acting a way that I'm really not. Like I don't know if that makes any sense, but like it's just wasting my time at this point. Like if I'm going to go and like not be myself and not be confident in who I am and go on dates and like meet people, then I don't want a guy to like me like that, you know, because that's not who I am. And so I believe that like when you're dating, you're going to be happiest when you're your true raw self. And like for me, like that's the kind of guy that I'm looking for too. Like I want someone who is willing to be genuine and real and like isn't afraid to just like be weird and goofy sometimes or like you know but also can just be serious and be real with me and you know have deep conversations. That's what people like. And I think a lot of people would agree with me that confidence is like an attractive quality. I know my friends have talked about this. Me and my girlfriends, will say like, yeah, if a guy is confident in himself, that's very attractive. If he's cocky, on the other hand, there's a line between those, okay? If he's like cocky and full of himself, that's very different, okay? I'm gonna strive to be confident and genuine and be myself, and I'm also gonna look for that in another person. So it's kind of a two-way thing, right? Like you they say like you should be the type of person that you want to date. So that kind of goes with this. So, another thing about dating is like I know sometimes for a lot of people, because I was definitely like this and I've grown out of it just a little bit, but it's still there kind of. But you go on like a first date and it's always like a little scary to be yourself. I feel like if you don't know them very well and you're kind of just warming up to them, and like that's okay. That's totally okay. I I've been there so many times, you know, and it usually is not till like the second or third date where I'm finally like, okay, like I'm gonna kind of get out of my shell a little bit. Um, but lately, like at this point, I'm just gonna be real here. Like, if I go on a date and I don't feel like I can be myself around this person, and I just don't feel comfortable, like talking about the things I love and, you know, being just like being myself, then like it's not, he's just not the one. Like, it's as simple as that. If I can't be myself around this person, if I don't feel comfortable and natural that way, like, if I don't feel like I can naturally just be myself around this person, then it's not gonna work. And not only that, but like, it's not as fun. Like, if I'm on this date and I just feel like I'm being shy or like closed off, then it's not fun, for either of us. And I've done that before, and so now I just say, that was kind of a waste of a date, so I'm not gonna do that anymore. I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna have fun, and I'm gonna see if we connect at all, okay? If I'm being myself, if we have a connection, if it opens him up. I love it when one person can feel like they can open up to the other person, and therefore the other person opens up back, if that makes sense. That's what I love about meeting people. That's how you know that it's gonna go well. That's how you know you're gonna be at least really good friends, maybe more. You'll see. We'll see, I guess. I always think it's funny because so you go on a first date, right? And you ask all the questions, what do you like to do and stuff? What are your hobbies? And I feel like 80% of the time, the guy wants me to say, he's hoping I say something oh, I love watching sports and I'm so good at football and soccer and volleyball and basketball, and that's my life. Because that's not what I'm gonna say, I could say that, but then he's gonna like me, and and then I'll feel bad because then he's gonna be like, oh sweet, let's go play some sports, and then it's just gonna be so embarrassing. But anyway, I just that's kind of an an exaggerated example, but it's true. I'm not gonna beat around the bush and be like, oh, I like sports, I guess, because he said he likes sports. I'm not gonna do that. I say, oh yeah, I love music, I love writing songs, I like being with friends, I like to go, all this, I'll say those kinds of things. And even if we don't have that in common, that's fine, because, I've dated people that, have way different hobbies than me, but it still works somehow. We still have so much fun together. And on the other hand, there's some people you meet and you just have nothing in common, and it's just, not gonna work. So you're okay, on to the next person. No big deal. It's all good. We're on good terms, but, it just means that we're not meant to be, and it's all good. So yeah, just, be yourself. Don't be afraid to, say what you are, and don't be afraid to act how you want to act. Act how you do when you're with your, best friends. You're always, your most goofiest self, I think, when you're with your best friends. And that's, kind of how I want to be when I'm meeting new people. Because if they don't like me in that, they don't like that side of me, then it's not worth my time. It's not worth their time either. And that is all the tips that I have right now, as of now, about dating. Though that was fun. Maybe I'll do some more episodes about dating. Let me know what you want to hear, because I just think that's a really fun topic. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. Thanks for joining me on another Joyride episode. And don't forget to be yourself out there. It's so much more fun. Life is so beautiful when you know who you are and where you came from and your purpose, and when you go on good dates where you can be yourself and you find someone else who can also be themselves, and it's just so much fun. So yeah, that's my words of wisdom for the week, I guess. We'll see you next time on Joyride.